getting comfortable with uncomfortable is really hard. But when you do it and when you lift something heavy and you're able to do a sprint and recover and you feel stronger, there's all of these positive emotional deposits being made.
Mhm.
Your brain is getting stronger and smarter. There's no reason and no better time to start than today.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how old you are. I have a can-do mentality. I know there's probably something you can't do. We can find it for you. Just don't give up on it.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Happy Life Agenda. I'm Danny C. And I am so excited that you're here to join this conversation today because my guest is Kerry Hamilton-Gannaway, who is a 35-year veteran of the fitness world, and she is a certified wellness coach. And guess what? A menopause specialist. So all of you over 40, we are in the presence of someone who can really help us work out all the things that we need to do to stay well once we've, kind of aged into that whole perimenopause, menopause, post-menopause situation. So I am so thrilled to have her today because all of those of you that I know in, real life, or you've been messaging me on social media, wellness is the topic that comes up the most. And it's like, how, as a busy mom, an aging woman, do I eat right? Do I work out right? Like, I just, I need some help. So Kerry is here. Welcome to the show, Kerry.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here with you and talk about all these things I'm really passionate about. And I'm sure it'll come through in my words and energy as I'm pretty animated. But as you did say, yes, 35 plus years of fitness and being in the wellness space. But yeah, I'm ready to help in whatever way I can.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much. So before we get started, I do want to kind of, dive into your background and your bio a little bit. And you work with the Masters Fitness with Chan, who I have on. Well, his episode will air soon. And then I know you work with the boxing studio. So kind of give us a little bit more about your expertise and your life.
Yeah, it's just like a poo-poo platter of fitness, right? It's all over the place. So yes, I am a co-owner of a boutique fitness studio, Mayweather Boxing Fitness. But we kind of got into that from the Masters Fitness first. So my husband and I, when we started dating, just wanted to be in business together. We both were in boutique fitness and just thought, let's try to do something for ourselves to help the 40 and up space, right? So we were both multi athletes, multi like athletes, like triathlete, things like that. So multi sports, excuse me. And so we were like, there's a masters division, which is for 40 and up. And we thought, what a great name for that. So it really was consulting for him, programming, and for me, training online, helping more women over 40, kind of like you said, navigate through all of this information. And then we got with Mayweather Boxing Fitness as a consulting gig, and I found a business partner and started as a co-owner operator of it. So we're doing a lot of it now. I'm kind of diving back into the wellness coaching aspect of it, as I have a really good team that can run my business now, which is what we want, right? We want to duplicate ourselves. So I've gotten into this place where I can step back, and I'm excited about it. Again, I feel like I've hit a refresh button on my computer screen because there's so much information out there right now for women. And I feel like we've just discovered fire. Because
Yeah, totally.
and I think I talked to you about it. My sister, who's a couple of years older than me, she was talking about menopause and perimenopause. She goes, I had perimenopause. And I was like, oh, honey, yes, we all do, but we don't know about it. It's kind of like in the back. We don't talk about it. It felt taboo. But it's no longer taboo. And we're learning so much about it. And I am just here for it all. So it's explained so much of my life. When I started fitness, Danny, it was like in the 90s, right? That's basically the first year that they started using men or women in their own separate studies. But until then, all the scientific studies were done on men for women. And we laughed about this, but on that podcast, right? We are not small men, right? That I stole
Dr.
from
Stacy Sims.
oh God. And it I have chills because we aren't. And that, but we've been used to studies as old men, right? So they used old men to kind of study women,
Yes.
but we're not, because old men don't have periods and they don't have like puberty like us. So I think at a cellular level, we're starting to kind of clear the space for us in a major way. And it's
Mhm.
exciting, but it explains so much of my crazy 35 to 45.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
So
god, I'm so glad you're here to talk about that because, I have worked in the integrative medicine space for such a long time. Because of talking to you, I got introduced listening to Dr. Stacy Sims, and like you said, that discovering fire, it's like this all these light bulbs are going off,
yeah,
and it's like, what have I been doing all this time, wasting my time, like wading through all of this stuff and not getting results when everything that I've been told is just absolutely not true for me as a woman.
the
So
biggest
I
lie.
mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to say that it's an intentional lie
sure.
that we've been told, but it feels that way. There's so many other podcasts that I'll kind of include later. So that in your notes, you can kind of feed people to read scientific studies. And this isn't
Yes.
my, um, this isn't my stuff, my knowledge. I'm sharing knowledge that I've heard, but I really make sure that the knowledge that I'm getting is not from Instagram. It's not from a
Yes.
magazine. It's really coming from scientific research that's been done, peer reviews, and all the things. But
Yes.
I think the biggest lie that we've been told is hormones causing cancer, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
it was a misguided information that was
Mhm.
launched, you know, 30 years ago, and we
Mhm.
stopped using hormones. And I think that it's to the detriment of so many women. But at this point, they no longer even have doctors that know how to prescribe it. And it's not
Mhm.
even an OBGYN kind of issue, I don't think. I think all doctors you should be able to go to your general practitioner or whoever you use and say, I'm going through these things. I'm having constant UTIs. I'm having pain while having sex. I'm having all these issues.
Mhm.
And, it's not in our heads. We're not crazy. Stop
Mhm.
diagnosing depression and putting people on Prozac and all the
Mhm.
things, you know,
Mhm.
it just is such a bigger deal. So I think right now it's dive into information, right?
Yes.
If you just discovered fire, then learn how to light that match and really figure out how to do it, and then don't back down. If your doctor, um, I'll tell you a funny story about my gynecologist. I went there
Okay.
just for a checkup, right? And my doctor said, I can tell that your estrogen is low. And I'm like, well, how can you tell that? And he said, well, your lining of your skin is thin. It's almost like a Lay's potato chip. And when you have a healthy, younger vagina, it's like a Ruffles potato chip. It's fluffier and has ridges. I have never had my vagina compared to a potato chip before. And it's made
What
to order in sandwich combos at Subway quite the laughing subject. And my husband, I look at him, I'm like, you better get the Lays, right? Because yeah, but it's so my doctor puts it in a kind of funny way, and I'm like, it's funny, but it's kind of not like. And he said,
Mhm.
I can give you estradiol for it, but this was a few months ago, and I had the same reaction that most women have. No, I don't want to get breast cancer.
Mm.
And now I'm like, I'm gonna go back. I want my ruffles. I want a bag of ruffles, okay? Let's go, Danny. So, but it is really interesting that we're learning this stuff, and we don't have to be put in one bucket. Like
Mhm.
I'm 53 this year, and I take care of myself. I eat well, I exercise regularly, I do all the things. But I look back at all these times where I felt like I was going insane. Or
Mhm.
did COVID make me this brain foggy? Did
Right.
right? Like, is it
Mhm.
like we have all these things, "Oh, no, it was did you get the shot? Did you get the vaccine? That's what's causing it." And we think it's all
Mhm.
this external stuff, but
Mhm.
it's hormones. Can we go
Mhm.
back to puberty? What were you like at 13?
I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't even want to talk about it. You knew what was happening, right? Right?
Yeah.
You knew what was happening. We studied puberty and we're just reversing that in a big
Mhm.
way. So we're reversing puberty. And I think the biggest thing to me, and I explained to my husband, we'll talk about this maybe when we do our podcast together, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
But I'm like, if you were told at 50 that you would basically your penis would shrivel up, I think that it would catch your attention and we'd have medication like that. And we do.
I was about to say, wait a second. We do. It all
We
got
do,
solved for them
right?
real quick.
Real quick, right? But we don't. But we do. And that's what we're finding out, that there are
Mhm.
some hormones out there
Mhm.
that can help and kind of reverse some of the stuff, give us back our vitality and sexual prowess and comfort. And it just affects all things. And the biggest thing I think it affects is us emotionally. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like it, I think women can feel inadequate or broken or crazy. And then we've
Mhm.
lost our sense of self. We raise children or not. We work really hard. We have careers or not. Like, but we're in
Mhm.
this space where we're not supported. And I think it's changing. So it's just really exciting. And it's, I'm not saying I'm not a big proponent of hormones because I'm not even on them yet. So, but it's
Mhm.
like, I'm curious, I'm open to finding
Mhm.
out more information. So that's just one of the pieces that I really want to talk to women about is let's figure out what step works. And that's what I do as a wellness coach, right? So, what is a wellness coach? It's someone who kind of takes all areas of your life. Um, and you may be struggling with weight loss or sleep or stress, or you just don't know where to start. Your
Mhm.
overwhelmedness is taking over. And you
Yes.
just don't
Yes.
know where to begin. Like, it's like having a really messy room. And I know you have kids. And I tell my daughter sometimes, I'm like, your room's a mess. And it is. And she's like, I
Always.
don't even know where to start. I'm like,
Yes.
okay. So I help her say, okay, we're just gonna start with the pants, right? Let's just
Mhm.
go pick up all the pants and fold them and put them away, right? And as a wellness coach, that's what I do. I break it down into small things so people can pick what they can start with that's going to make the biggest impact with the littlest amount of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that really quick. And
Mhm.
I've been in the integrative medicine space. I've worked in hormone therapy since I was like 28 years old as a copywriter and eventually a marketing director and chief marketing officer. And so one of the things that you just said was really important to that conversation is like, what's the small thing that we can start with? And a lot of times, because hormone therapy is cash-based medicine, and yes, women do need them and there is a time and a place for them. But just like you said, you're not on them yet. So the first thing that you should probably do is kind of look at your wellness and like what are you eating, how are you exercising. And what you introduced me to is this conversation that like we've been following bro science all this time.
Yeah.
And so we think we get to our 40s and we've had our kids, our hormones have been, out of whack every single month, plus babies. And we are like, my workouts are no longer effective. I need to go get on hormone therapy because that's what all of the advertisements are telling us. But really,
Yeah.
before we go there, we need to look at what's the truth about how I should be working out and how I should be eating. So let's start with working out. Can you kind
Yeah.
of take us through the things that we've been hearing and then what we should be doing?
Oh, this is exciting. So I started working out like I was in sports. Okay, so I found that I absolutely love taking aerobics and high impact aerobics. So like I'm not kidding, high top Reeboks, shiny tights, thong leotards.
Ladies,
Had my
yes.
mom let me leave the house like this, but we did because I really wanted to be Jamie Lee Curtis. And so I started teaching step aerobics when I was 17 at Let's Get
Wow.
Physical. That's the name of the gym.
Nice.
So seriously, I just loved it. But it really was a place of we work out to shrink,
Mhm.
right? Or it wasn't necessarily for wellness, it was aesthetics. And that was my why then, right? And because I was a big
Right.
heavy push for women in fitness was to get thinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been there.
so now I think kind of decluttering all of that, it's you don't have to kill yourself every workout. And that's been hard for
Amen.
me. even
Mhm.
to say, okay, a little bit of something is better than nothing. So
Yes.
all or something, or all or something is so much better than all or nothing. It gives me
Mhm.
permission to say, okay, well, I don't have 45 minutes to an hour today, but I know I need to sweat. So I'm just going to break this down into 10 minutes, and I might do a 10-minute like high intensity thing. And then the next day I might have time to do a 30-minute walk and slower weight training.
Yeah.
And so it fit it into what works for you. And if you don't have a lot of time, that comes into like wellness, like fitness snacks. So if you're in your office, and I know it sounds simple, and some people might be, oh yeah, so you want me to kind of like take my shoes off in my office and do 10 push-ups? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, why not? Like, why not? So what's the worst thing that happens? Someone walks by your office and you're doing push-ups and you may have inspired them, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yes. Oh, I don't have time because I've got my kids and I've got it. Well, what's better to show your children than that you prioritize your fitness? And maybe
Yes.
what's better than going to the monkey bars and doing monkey bars with them, and doing squats and getting them involved and playing Simon Says and doing all these things that you can work together. To me, that's fitness. It's
Yes.
movement, and exercise are different. Movement every day. That's
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
no-brainer. Don't just sit. But
Key to vitality.
exercise, yeah, it's exercises, little tiny little bits when you can. And if you have the weekend to go all out and you're gonna ride your bike
Mhm.
for 50 miles, and go for it. I do push though. It's almost like with nutrition. I'm like, if you're only gonna eat one thing, please make it protein. With the fitness now, especially for the over 30, it's
Mhm.
strength. If you're gonna do something, lift
Yes.
something heavy, right? Um,
Yes.
and
Yes.
maybe do something, not high impact, but I'm really a proponent of jumping and bone density. So
Yes.
with weight training and maybe jumping on a trampoline, lymphatic drainage, all the things, and it's fun. And you put it in the
Yeah.
living room, and then everyone gets a chance to jump, and it really helps grow the hippocampus. So I put my daughter on it before test days and make her jump.
Oh,
Yeah, and stimulate her, and she feels good, and we're laughing, having a good time. But it's not that difficult. It is, because we're overloaded with
mhm.
information, but
Mhm.
it's moving in all planes of motion, right?
Yes. Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's twisting. I mean, take your kid, take your kid to Target and see if they're jumping over the big red ball, like straddling it or jumping or parkour, you know, that's what kids do. We should still be able to do that, right? And the
Yes.
why
Yes.
is because, and I was just at my dad's, he's in, nursing home. So I had lunch with 11 people over the age of 80 yesterday. There was only two men, by the way.
Oh,
Everyone,
that's something.
yeah, two men, but most of the women were in wheelchairs because of
Lack of mobility.
broken bones, osteoporosis. Okay. The ones that weren't lived on farms.
Wow. So let's touch on that real quick because,
Yeah.
there's this stigma about lifting weights and getting too bulky, and I don't want to do that. And, especially as we age, you listen to we've talked about Stacey Sims, is
Yeah.
like lifting those heavy weights. Like, okay, first of all, I hear most women complain about the sagging skin. It's like, hey, fill it with some muscle and then it
Yeah.
won't sag so much. The number
Exactly.
two, it's that bone density and that mobility is like you still need to be able to bend over and pick up groceries, walk upstairs. And if you don't take care of that stuff, it's not sexy to be in a wheelchair. So touch on how, women need to be doing the heavier weights and how it doesn't have to be this, like you said, hour long, let me stare at myself in the mirror and take 5-minute breaks and, all the
Right.
things that you see in a big box gym.
Yeah. It's the opposite of it, it's the opposite thinking, right? Because
Mhm.
that's fear that they have, but it winds up actually worse if they don't. So basically, it's called sarcopenia. We lose muscle mass every year, but it's like it's like 3%, but like over time it adds up. And my big thing is telling women that I'm not lifting, I'm lifting to be strong. I'm
Yes,
lifting to be able to push myself off the floor,
absolutely.
I'm
Mhm.
lifting, I'm squatting to stand up out of a chair. I'm
Mhm.
pulling up so if I need help, I can get up. But in balance, and it also releases
Yes.
cortisol. It helps you sleep. It helps you
Mhm.
strengthen your pelvic floor. And unless you're eating a ton of protein and lifting really, really heavy for years, because I have muscle, but I didn't get it overnight. Like,
Yeah.
this is a consistent daily practice,
Yes.
and it
Amen.
took years to get it.
Mhm.
So, yes, it'll take years to get bulky if that's what you're training for, but more than anything, your insulin, your bone health, all of that, that's immediate. That's what
Yes.
you're gonna see first. Your skin tightening, cortisol, reducing because you were
Yes.
stressed, right? And to me, that's what you'll see first. The other
Yes.
stuff, no. And here's a little tip that I heard, actually, it could have been from Stacy Sims, but she said that if you get a good pump at the gym, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you're basically that pump, you look in the mirror and you're kind of have a little, you feel your muscle kind of
Yeah.
filled with blood, right?
Yeah.
And you look in the mirror and you like that look, that's basically where you're gonna go. Because then the blood kind of you unpump and you
Mhm.
feel kind of saggy again. The
Yeah.
pump is where you're gonna get to
Yes. Yes.
within probably a
That's
year consistently. That's it.
Yeah, that's so that is such a good measurement. If any of you are listening is and fear that, bulking up is, it's a lot like a beautiful lean muscle mass for most women.
Yeah.
It's not this like, the things that you see on TV that
No.
you're scared of. It's not
Well,
the American
and
Gladiator days.
yes, right. I know because they got there probably by a little
Not
bit of
naturally.
help. Yeah, a little bit of help, I'm sure they did, and you can tell when they do. And that stuff is out there, right? But, for me, I just think we eat well, we'll sleep well, if we work out hard, get sweaty every day. Get sweaty
Yes.
every day, just sweat. Get it out of your system. You don't
Feels so
want
good.
all that sitting in there.
Yes.
And I just really also want to talk about this. Like, I know that Pilates is a really big thing right now, and
Mhm.
I love it. I love Pilates.
Yes.
I love the flexibility of it. I love the core strengthening aspect of it, but it is not a replacement for a strength workout. So if you're
True.
solely doing Pilates, please pick up something. And I'm not talking the baby 3-pound weights in the basket next to the Pilates thing. Oh, I do. No, no, no. No, I need you to pick something up where you're like questioning, am I going to be able to do this? Like, it
Yes.
should be uncomfortable. By the 10th rep, you should be almost at your end. You have a 2-rep reserve. That's how heavy you want to lift. And we're talking overhead presses, rows, squats, hamstrings, for the back of the thighs and the glutes, things like that. So, please, Pilates is great, but add some strength, please.
Yes. Okay. So on that note, let's talk a little bit about why, the heavier weights are important. Not only, I think we talked about like, when you're stressed, you can get sick and you get worn down. Exercise is stress. And so those heavier weights are extra stress. So you're combating that you're teaching your body how to handle that stress. So you're going to get sick less. You're going to feel, less fatigue because your body knows how to handle it. And so
Yes.
lifting those heavier weights gives you that stimulation. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's your body is your brain is actually getting used to accepting that stress on your body. And there's that neurological response where your body, I was actually listening to a podcast yesterday and they were talking about, he said, every morning I wake up, I'm really groggy, but I began
Mhm.
to take a 75-pound kettlebell and I pick it up right after I wake up and I
Oh my
walk
gosh.
with my kettlebell back and forth 12 times in my room, switching hands. And after the fifth or sixth day, I was less groggy. Your brain actually begins to pre like learn that it's going to start working. So it's going to anticipate that
Wow.
in a good way. And so your brain will anticipate work and be able to process it in a healthier way, and I just think that it's amazing. They did that study on a guy who actually had a lesion on the frontal lobe of his brain, right? The memory. So
Oh,
immediate
wow.
memory had none of it. And they said, you would go in and you tell a joke to this guy and he'd laugh, right? You'd leave the room, he'd totally forget it. Forget who told him, forget that's it, immediate, right? And they did all these
Wow.
studies. His brain's in a jar somewhere. It's like the most famous um, brain study, right? So they went in
Wow.
like 5 times. And after like the fifth time, it became a little less funny. He was like, oh, that's funny. It's not that it was less
Int
funny because he doesn't have a memory. His brain picked up. So my point in that is your brain will process things differently when you put it under constant stress in a
Mhm.
negative way and a positive way. So
Yes.
negative way, but add strength training, get uncomfortable.
Yes.
Have you ever done a sprint on a
Oh, yeah.
treadmill? I know
Love
you
it.
have. It feels like death. And actually, I call a sprint when I say that all out effort, right? When you want to
Mhm.
get
Mhm.
anaerobic, I call it that voluntary suffocation. It feels like you're
Because
going to die,
yeah.
right? But there's something about that that triggers this endorphin rush
Mhm.
after. And so getting comfortable with uncomfortable is really hard. But when you do it, and when you lift something heavy and you're able to do a sprint and recover and you feel stronger, right? So there's
Yes.
all of these positive emotional deposits being made.
Mhm.
Your brain is getting stronger and smarter. So there's no reason and no better time to start than today.
Yes.
Doesn't
Yes.
matter how old you are. And if you have orthopedic issues, I have a can do mentality. Like, I know there's probably something you can do. We can find it for you, right? This, don't give
Yes.
up on it. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that this is where this conversation went because, at the Happy Life Agenda, we talk all the time about getting uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's kind of, at the epicenter of everything, whether it's like, your safety and security of your corporate job, but you know that you're being called to go do something else with exercise. You've got to get to that place of discomfort because that's how you're going to see the results. And then to, touch on about the brain, we talk a lot about specificity, intention, and the
Yes.
patterns. And we let ourselves get into these patterns where we wake up, our alarm goes off, we slap it. And we've been doing that for like 30 years. And even though we've moved and we've had kids or whatever, we're still waking up. We slap the alarm 3 times, we shuffle to the bathroom, and you're just doing it. Whereas if you add the kettlebell, you make some changes, you teach your brain how to have positive habits and intentional habits, the things that can happen are just phenomenal. And, being able to build a healthy body is one of those things. So I love that you went that direction because
Yeah.
it all comes together.
It all comes together. And I think it's joy over judgment, right? So for me, it's I choose movement for my clients that they enjoy. Just because your neighbor Susan is doing, CrossFit
Mhm.
and she loves it and she asks you to go with her and you freaking hate it, like loathe every second of it, then it's not your jam. Don't try to force
Yeah,
the round peg in the square hole, right?
exactly.
You got to find
Exactly.
that means you get to test drive lots of things. And if
Mhm.
belly dancing and a weight training session every couple days a week is your thing, great, do
Do
it.
it.
Just move, make if it makes you happy. That's why it's like just find what brings you joy, ditch that like calorie burn mindset,
Yes.
and think about
Yes.
functional movement, think about your future of functionality.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you said that because I think when we had our initial conversation, we talked a lot about play, and you even touched on it earlier when you were talking about our daughters. Is like I go and I play at the trampoline park. Or I go and play at the ninja gym. Like I buy myself a ticket, and now my daughter sees working out as play, and
Yeah.
so I think if that excites you and that's when it's going to get you to work out because your kid's now saying, you got a 2-hour ticket to those gyms,
Yes.
and that is quite a workout, and
It
it
is.
doesn't have to be the standard of what everyone thinks is working out,
No, but there's power in community. So
Yes.
if you are struggling with being stuck in a place and maybe you've retreated to just coming home after work every day, grabbing a
Mhm.
glass of wine, popping your feet up on that, for Netflix
Yeah,
binging,
we've all been there.
you can show up better if you have someone to be on the other side waiting.
Yes.
So if it looks like it's a community-based thing, that's why I love the boutique space, right? Or group
Mhm.
X, which I've been a part of for so long, because it becomes a community. And then it becomes less of what a workout is, right? I hate
Mhm.
talking like, "Well, I'm going to work out. I'm gonna go hang with my friends. It just happens to be at a gym, right?
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
the space that I created in my boutique space is that, we're there to show up for each other. It is high fives, it is supporting, it isn't because that triggers a positive reinforcement. And it's a safe space and people can get real results. And, it just gives you a sense of belonging. So if you haven't yet tried group, fitness or boutique fitness, it's worth it. It's worth the money because it's not like
Mhm.
a $9 a month Planet Fitness thing. But if they have something around that you are going to pay a little bit more, you're going to get the attention, you're going to get the community, you're going to get the feedback, you're going to get the direction and the
Yes.
coaching for a lot cheaper than you would with a personal trainer. So
Absolutely. I love boutique fitness. I think it put me on the truest part of my fitness journey, even though I've always been in this space because you said it right there. I was excited to go and like, meet new people, make
yeah.
friends. We were all doing the same thing.
Maybe a little
And
competition, which is
yeah,
always good. I mean, let's go
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Ex-
So if you
yeah.
it helps, it helps. So I
Oh
love
my
that.
gosh, that's so great. So, I think we have about 15 more minutes. So I wanted to touch on nutrition a little bit because, we hear a lot of things and this kind of plays into what stresses women out. It's like, oh, I got to be gluten free. I got to be dairy free. I got to intermittent fast. I can't eat at this time. I can't eat at that time. And then all of a sudden your head just wants to explode because you're like, I don't know what to eat. I don't know when to eat. So I'm just not going to eat. And then that's a detriment to your metabolism.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on how women, especially the over 40 crowd, should be eating with all of this crazy information that's out there?
Don't get your information off Instagram.
Thank you.
Don't get your information off Instagram and you have to eat. Um, and
Yes.
I think more than half the women that I've worked with in my life don't eat enough.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they'll not eat enough until around 8 o'clock. And then they're starving. And
Netflix and
then
wine
they're
and
like, "I don't know why I get so hungry at night." I know why, because you're watching things with commercials, which are there to
Mhm,
make you want to eat, and you haven't
mhm.
fed your body the food. So I always say, you wanna wake up hungry and go to bed satisfied,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
there are, yes, there's gluten free. There's space for all of that if that's definitely what's going on with your body, and that's
Yes.
very specific. Your gut microbiome and how you process food and all of that is as unique as your thumbprint. So everybody's different. So if you're taking oh well, my friend is intermittent fasting
Mhm.
and she found results, well, great, that's her, but you have a high stress job and you are on your feet all day and, you're not eating the food that you need to in that small window. So now
Yeah.
basically you're starving yourself because
Yep.
you can't finish your food in the 8 hours that you've given yourself. Um, Gluten free, if you have a sensitivity to things. So, how do I keep it? How do I tell my clients? I keep it simple. Okay.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
know I've done it before. If you're going to do anything, that one small change, just make sure you're getting enough quality protein and you want to get it at every meal you can. 30 grams, what does it look like? There's a bunch of infographics that you can find on Instagram that tell you how many grams of protein are in, like, what does 30 grams of protein look like? And I'll show you like 5 eggs or 6 ounces of fatty
Mhm.
fish, lean meats, things like that.
Mhm.
um, I'm not a big Frankenstein food girl, which, I mean, if it's made in a lab, I'm I don't eat it
Don't do
that
it.
much unless I
Yeah.
have to, right? Like,
Mhm.
do I do protein? Yeah, sometimes I'll scoop some protein there because I can't get to chicken, turkey, fish in that sitting, so I might drink it.
Emergency.
Yeah,
Mhm.
as an emergency situation, but it's not an everyday thing because I want the food which goes in my mouth to break down with the enzymes that are put in my mouth, which then break down
Yes.
the digest, and I want my gut to be healthy, so I'm keeping out processed food. So what I tell people is protein and produce, pretty easy.
Yes.
Protein,
Yummy.
and that could be starchy carbs, like, it could be, like, sweet
Mhm,
potatoes, waxy potatoes, legumes, things like that. Those are carbohydrates,
mhm,
so it doesn't mean, like,
mhm.
I'm carb-free because, God, a girl's got to move, and a
Yeah,
carbohydrate is like the lighter fluid on your charcoal grill, you know? You have
yeah.
charcoal and you have a match, it's gonna light, but that lighter fluid goes so it's you have to eat for your activity as well. So if I
Mhm,
can't work out that 45 minutes that day, am I going to be eating the same amount of calories that I would on a day that I would on a maybe a long run or a 50-mile bike? Or I eat for my activities.
mhm,
So
mm.
an hour before my workouts, I'm eating something with fat, protein, and carbohydrates, maybe about 150 to 250 calories, right?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
I can't eat in the morning. I hear that a lot. My stomach's nauseous in the morning. Okay. There's way that you can get liquid calories in, right? Maybe
Mhm.
it's a little protein powder in your coffee, or maybe it's a little couple bites of yogurt with granola on it, just enough. You don't have to sit down and fill your belly. That's your part
Exactly.
one of your breakfast, and you
Yep.
finish the part two when you get home. You know,
Yes.
it's like having money that you have to spend all day, right? You just gotta make sure you
Mhm.
spend it. So,
Yes.
yes, and that's my thing. Um,
Mhm.
and it's really we need at least a minimum of 14 to 1,500 calories a day just to run our
Yeah.
bodies. So, if
Yes.
you're exercising and you're at a deficit, you're storing fat. You're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing. You're not feeding your brain, ladies, so you're making it
Yes.
and pressure. All your hormone levels are now funky, and you're
Mhm.
foggy, you're hangry. Um,
Yep.
yeah, and so food is your friend as long as you're eating foods that don't live in a box.
Yes. I like, what you said. It's again goes with some of the happy life agenda pillars, and that's the specificity and intention behind it is, eating whole foods, number one. It's and then being very specific and intentional with what you want your body to be able to do. And, we've been fed all of this science. Like, for example, I was a big proponent of carb free for many, many years, especially as a teenager and a 20 something.
Yeah,
And now it's like, oh my God, what was I doing to my brain? Um, I'd probably be
yeah,
a little less like I'd have a better memory right now if I had just eaten more of the healthy carbs that,
and the healthy
we
fats.
need. Mhm.
Remember fat free?
Yes. Well, I was kind of a little bit, past
Oh,
that. That was already starting to get, a bad
yeah.
rap.
Yeah, it was really bad because it was all
Yeah.
trans fats and, oh my gosh, all
Yeah.
these people getting cancer
Yeah.
and all this stuff. Yeah, so the whole foods and making sure that you are eating with intention. And how about cooking? Can we get back to
Yes.
cooking? It's not a chore.
Yes.
It's an art.
It's
It's an art form. It's the most nurturing way to spend time with your family. Get
yes.
involved. You have to teach your
Yes.
kids. And if you stack your entire week with activities to the point where you don't have time to cook meals, then maybe you need to rethink.
Mhm.
Like, I want my daughter to be in activity. She's a dancer, so but I'm not doing it every single day. And even if they're like, "Oh, she's wonderful. She should be in every class." Well, that's true, but she also needs to have chill time. She has to have play time. She has to have homework
Mhm.
time and sleep time. So if
Mhm.
you're over stimulating your schedules and stacking things, not just on them, but on you,
Us too.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
you're now responsible, it's not
Yeah.
serving you. So take a step back maybe. And summers are a great time to do it because farmers markets are out there and you
Yes.
go and get some produce and you like, what the heck is this? I've never seen this. Let's figure out how to eat it. Let's figure out how to
Yes.
cook it. Maybe have the kids pick out a meal. What do you want to help me cook with? So yes, it's a chore, but people don't know how to cook anymore,
Mhm.
and they're relying on other people to cook their food, and it's not food they're cooking. You're getting it at restaurants, they're getting it in
Mhm.
boxes that have been frozen and doesn't even it's not even real.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. So learn how to cook, get back into it, have some fun, make it
That's
sexy.
Oh, man, I like that you said that because, if you look back at some studies, the downfall of us sitting down at the table as a family and eating whole foods is really kind of something that's contributed to the obesity epidemic and even, like, the benefits of mental health because it's where the family came together, they had these conversations, they engaged with each other, and I know growing up, that's what I got, but
Yeah.
we've seen the over activities and like stacking your day until you're just like, oh, got to go through the drive-through. And when I started coaching weight loss clients, that was the number thing I was combating. They was like, I'm just so busy, I have to eat drive-through. And it's like, well, wait a minute. So I love that you said that that's such an important
Yeah,
pillar.
it's a lot, and I know there's a lot of parent guilt
Yeah.
that they want
Yeah.
their kids in everything and have all the stuff, and I think I'm not downing this at all. I think travel ball and competitive cheer and all the things, I'm like, it's great. There has to be a space where it's not every weekend. It's not
Mhm.
running these parents into the ground and running these kids into the ground,
Yeah.
because I see these kids in cheer camps just sitting with bags of chips and sodas
Mhm.
and coffee
Mhm.
drinks.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
do
That's scary.
10-year-olds start having frappuccinos that have 30 grams of
Yeah.
sugar in it? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
let's stop the insanity.
Yeah.
Let's start, like,
Yes.
get back to our grandparents' way of eating: breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yes.
maybe a little snack, sit at the table, take a bite of food, put your fork down, pick it back up, chew, and in your whole gut, everything, you'll notice that things will change. You'll notice.
Yes.
Yeah. So get
Yes.
back to the good old days.
Yeah, let's get done with this burnout and this like go, go, go and
Yes.
slow down.
Let's take back our lives, people.
Yes.
We don't have to fall for every fad and
Mhm.
pressure that we feel that social media is putting out there for us.
Oh my gosh, the pressure is so real. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Carrie, I think we could talk for hours and
Oh,
hours. So that just means you have to come back on.
yes.
And even I haven't even gotten a chance to tell you this, and I'll tell our audience. So the Happy Life Agenda is moving into the retreat space, and we are going to start having retreats. And so that means I think Carrie needs to come and be a guest and take some of these questions live and interact with everybody. So
Yes.
I'll definitely be talking about that and having the registrations and everything on my website. So thank you, Carrie, so much for being here
Thank
today.
you.
If people want to get in touch with you, tell us about your website. Are you on social media? Kind of give us all that information.
Yes. So I'm on all the things where the Masters Fitness, themastersfitness.com, or you can find me, Coach Carrie Ann. I'm on there. So I try to post. It's a thing. I have to do it, but it's a necessary evil, but it really helps me be able to interact and engage with other people like you. So it's so good.
Yes, yes, that's a form of connection, and that's what we'll
Yes.
use it for in this case. So thank
Yes.
you so much again, Carrie, for joining us, and to all of you listening, thank you for tuning into this conversation. As we just said, like you can join us on social if you're, far away. We want to be able to connect with you and continue this conversation online. And if you loved what we had to say, please click subscribe below and be sure to follow the Happy Life Agenda on social. Visit my website so you can be part of the retreats that are coming up. If you haven't subscribed to my email list, you do get really awesome early bird invitations, exclusive discounts on the invites and the tickets. So make sure that you get there now. And Carrie, thanks again. And I'll talk to all of y'all soon.
Thank you so much.